I'm extremely pleased to be with all of you in the Vipanchi. The very name attracted my attention. Among the many names of the Veena, Vipanchi is a name that I myself have used for Goddess Saraswati's instrument in one of my compositions on Saraswati. Vipanchi Vadana Samaye, what Nakakirana Nindita Prapancha Prakasha Pradata Ravikirane is the expression. The luster on the Naka of the Devi of the left hand, which is attracting the attention of the Devi herself while playing. The Kirana on the Naka is so good that it puts the rays of the sun to shame, is the expression I have used for Saraswati's Veena playing. First of all, I want to thank Vipanchi, my friend Dr. Ramnarayan Rao Garu, and all the members of the Executive Council of the Vipanchi for their graciousness in inviting me to be with you essentially. Felicitating me is another gesture of generosity of the Vipanchi and Mr. Rao Garu and you all. There's another person whom I would very much like to thank in this connection. Vidwan Sudhindra Rao and Akhila, Mrs. Rao. It is because of Mr. Sudhindra Rao's very affectionate introduction of me to Mr. Rao and as many others that I have this pleasure to be with all of you today.
If you sit that way, is it okay? Can you try?
Absolutely, I can get.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Sudhindra Rao and I have been
It was very hard
feeling
to drink water.
when I arrived in Raleigh and these many weeks that we have been together, that it is not as if we knew each other now. We feel that we have known each other for a long time, many decades. So my thanks are very fondly and respectfully given to Mr. Sudhindra Rao and Akhila Rao for introducing me to the Ramnarayan Rao Garu and this Vipanchi. I am a very ardent student of Dikshitar's material. In fact, I go into tears when I think of the Sangeeta Trimurtis. That is the bhakti I have for them. And many of my compositions carry my homage to the Trimurtis in my compositions. Among them, Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar stands out as the greatest inspirer for me to have become the composer. The Sahitya Bandha of Dikshitar is very unique. Among the Trimurtis, Dikshitar has such a unique style that is at once in conformity with the traditional style of composing the Kriti, and yet quite different and unique to only Dikshitar. The Sahitya of Dikshitar in all his compositions carries such profound concepts in metaphysics that no other composer's compositions reveal. That is the profundity of Dikshitar's Sahitya in his compositions. When you think of the Geya, I have spoken about the work now. When you think of the Geya of Dikshitar's compositions, it is extremely profound. Many compare his compositions to Narikela Pakra, as you know. It is difficult, they say. Difficult they may be, but the profundity in the compositions is so enormous that we don't have a parallel in the music history of the country, I would say. That is the extent of the profundity of Muthuswami Dikshitar's compositions. Be it the Navagraha Kritis, Dr. Reddigaru sang one of the most difficult of the Navagraha Kritis, Brihaspati. It's a tough composition among the Navagraha Kritis. That and the Shukra Graha Kriti and the Yadukula Kamboji, Divakar Nojam, these stand out as the most difficult among the Navagraha Kritis to render. Be it the Navagraha Kritis, be it the Navavarna Kritis, be it the Panchabhuta Kritis, be it the Guru Kritis, be it the Avayamba Navavarna Kritis, be it the Nilotpalamba Kritis. How many Samudaya Kritis do you want? All such magnificent Samudaya Kritis came out only from Dikshitar. And I also want to say that among all the composers we had, it took one Muthuswami Dikshitar to think of composing on the Navagraha Kriti, Navagrahas. It is only he that composed on the Navagrahas, and in that we get an idea of his insight into Jyotisha. I have an occasion to study these compositions and Samudaya Kritis of Dikshitar deeply, and one thing I found out to great satisfaction. Speaking of the Navagraha Kritis, I found in the course of my research a composer in Western music looks like being greatly influenced by Dikshitar. We speak of influence of Western music on Indian music, no? I am speaking of India, the impact of Indian composer on Western music and Western composer. One, Gustav Holst, he came to India, he, a great Sanskrit scholar himself, who knew about Dikshitar, who came later. It's very strange coincidence that Gustav Holst is just 100 years later after Muthuswami Dikshitar. He has composed on the planets. He had known the compositions on the Navagrahas by Dikshitar. I can't assert that Gustav Holst was influenced by the Navagraha Kritis of Dikshitar, but that he knew Dikshitar and his work, and that he was a great Sanskrit scholar. I do know, and I do know a little about the other compositions of like Savitri and others, the compositions of Gustav Holst. In a deep study of the compositions on planets by Gustav Holst, I have had the thrill to notice that his treatment of the planets, Sun is not a planet for Westerners, as you know. From the moon and onwards, we know. His treatment of his music for the composition on Mars and on Saturn and on Shukra Graha, Venus. The music of these compositions I have studied and presented. They are extremely in similar psyche, I would say, like the composition, the music of the compositions of Dikshitar. Shanaishchara, we say. Shanaishchara is the graha which moves slowly. That is what the name Shanaishchara means. And for this, Muthuswami Dikshitar took the extremely great raga Yadukula Kampoji, and the movement of the composition in the Yadukula Kampoji for Saturn is the slowest among the Navagraha Kritis, necessarily so. Yadukula Kampoji is only to be rendered in that pace, no faster than that. That is the character of Yadukula Kampoji. And you have, I would say, you have an encyclopedia of Yadukula Kampoji in the Divakara Dhanojam of Dikshitar. That is the great music Muthuswami Dikshitar has given in this composition, Divakara Dhanojam. And the composition in Farazu, the Raga Farazu, on the Shukra Graha, that is the ultimate for Raga Farazu any composer would have thought of. This is the ultimate for that raga, and Dikshitar has given us that. And the delineation of the Raga Farazu in that Kriti is so elaborate, we wonder if Farazu could be elaborated all that long and that expansively. That is the great treatment of Raga Farazu by Dikshitar. If you take Angarkam Ashrayami, the Surati is the ultimate Surati, I would say, for Surati, and Dikshitar has given that ultimate Surati in the Raga, in the composition on Angaraka Graha, the Kuchagraha, in Raga Surati. Like this, I have no expressions adequate, I don't know if anybody has, to express the greatness of Dikshitar. However, as an ardent student of the material of Dikshitar, I have been so overwhelmed, and I have been sent to such raptures over his compositions, the Sahitya, the concepts, the philosophy, the metaphysics, the great sentimental material also. You see, you remember, an intellectual is not a sentimental man. A sentimental man is rarely an intellectual, we all know. But here is Dikshitar, Muthuswami Dikshitar. He is one of the rarest combinations of a great intellectual and a highly emotional person. Emotional, I would say, because the attachment he had to Devi, Rajarajeshwari, and his attachment to Muruga, who is the one who blessed him in his younger days to become a composer. This attachment that Muthuswami Dikshitar has expressed in his compositions is of a very, very rare quality. And you speak of intellectual material, among all the Trinity, among all the composers of Carnatic music, I would say, the most intellectual material, the highest philosophies, the most intellectual, it is not exercise, intellectual leading us to the Brahman, that is leading us to the Upanishad Sara. That is the way Dikshitar has taken us along in his compositions, in incorporating so many ideas of the Upanishads, the Brahman, the Atman, whatever the Upanishads have continuously taught us in various compositions of his. And the very embodiment of Sri Vidya that Dikshitar was. We get the fullest picture of the magnificence of Sri Vidya, the loftiness of Sri Vidya to be called, why it is called Brahma Vidya. We get an idea of all this only and only from Dikshitar's compositions. This is the great Dikshitar. And like I told you, I have been overwhelmed right from my boyhood with the personality of Dikshitar. One incidental thing I would like to mention, excuse me. We all know Muthuswami Dikshitar was a Vainika Gayaka. He signs himself also like that. In the Kriti Balagopala in Bhairavi, he signs himself as Vainika Gayaka Guru Guhadata Puravaili Vinuta Gopika Manohara Balagopala. When did he become the Vainika? Is a question somebody asked me. While we can't exactly say when, I will give you a small background for that. His father Ramaswami Dikshitar was a Vainika. He was taught by no less than the descendant of Venkatamakin, Muddu Venkatamaki as we call him. Venkata Vaidyanath Dikshitar was also called Muddu Venkatamaki by his Lekana signature. He taught Ramaswami Dikshitar Veena. Also, before that, there is a great name for Carnatic music, and that is Veerabhadraya. This Veerabhadraya appears to have fixed the contours of the Carnatic music of that era, and this Veerabhadraya is the one who also taught Veena to Ramaswami Dikshitar. That is the background, let us say. But Dikshitar left his father in about the age of 16 or something. When? Where? Why? Where? The yogi, Chidambaranatha yogi, you know, he was touring the south. He belongs to Varanasi. He was touring the south, came to Manali, where these people, these families stayed, and met Ramaswami Dikshitar. From after their Aditya, he went to Rameshwaram and came back from Rameshwaram to Ramaswamy Dikshitar's family. And this is a historic thing that has happened in our musical knowledge, or anywhere, I would say. A guru asking for a shiksha piksha. We have all known shishyas craving to get a particular guru. They line up to become shishyas of a guru. Here was Chidambaranatha Yogi asking Ramaswamy Dikshitar to send his son along with him as a shishya. The rarest honor that anybody could get. And Dikshitar is the one that got this honor. When he was with Chidambaranatha Yogi in Varanasi, we all know that he also learned Hindustani music there and composed great compositions in Hindustani ragas, in the Drupad style and Khyal style. And while he had almost finished his stay in Varanasi with the Guru asked him to get a dip in Ganga and come back. The Guru had visualized that Dikshitar had the mantra siddhi. Muthuswami Dikshitar went and dipped in the Ganga. Lo, what happened? When he had dipped in the Ganga, a Veena approached Dikshitar. This is a happening that we all know in the life of Dikshitar. And this Veena approached Dikshitar while he was dipping and getting up. Dikshitar took it and went back to the Guru. And the Guru was extremely happy that he got this blessing in Ganga, the blessing of Ganga also. And he said, now I am giving you the Upadesha, you have the Mantra Siddhi. My purpose of bringing you here is now over. You will go back to your family. Dikshitar, since then, Dikshitar was a Vainika. This is a very, very unusual happening in anybody's life. This happened in Dikshitar's life. And also incidentally, I must mention, I have singularly the greatest good fortune and blessing of my life, of an opportunity to play this Veena of Dikshitar. I would never have dreamt of this. But I have had this great opportunity. I met the descendant of Dikshitar's family, one by name Muthuswami Dikshitar, the same name of his great-grandfather. Muthuswami Dikshitar's brother, youngest brother was Muthuswami Dikshitar. His Dauhitra and adopted son, Subbarama Dikshitar, then Ambi Dikshitar. That line continued, and in that line was Muthuswami Dikshitar, staying in Mambalam in Madras. I had the good fortune of his bringing this Veena of Dikshitar, his Meru Chakra that Dikshitar worshipped, the Meru Sri Chakra, and Subramania's photo, and the Ganapati Vigraha, all that Dikshitar worshipped as a routine. And I have had the good fortune and the most sacred blessing of having all these three for 3 days in my house and worshipping that. I have this rarest opportunity. This is one of the reasons of my extreme attachment to Dikshitar, and by my own understanding or attempt to understand, of Dikshitar's material, my unswerving study of Dikshitar's material gave me the inspiration to compose on Dikshitar. I have composed on all the Trinity, and for Dikshitar I composed in Sanskrit necessarily, because Dikshitar was a composer in Sanskrit. Compositions on Tyagaraja in Telugu, and composition of mine for Shyama Shastri is in Telugu. I will simply give you the Sahitya of the composition on the Stuti of Dikshitar. The composition is in Begada, Mr. Chabu. If time permits, I will sing it for you. Guru Guha Rupam Muthuswaminam Dikshiteti Prasiddham Hridikshita Guruvaram Sadasparami. Guru Guha Rupam Muthuswaminam Dikshita iti prasiddham. If you say just Dikshitar, it is only Muthuswami Dikshitar we are referring to. If we want to mention other Dikshitars, we have to name specially by saying Ramaswami Dikshitar or Subramanian Dikshitar and Balaswami Dikshitar. If we say Dikshitar, just Dikshitar in our musical fraternity, we mean only Muthuswami Dikshitar. So, Dikshita iti prasiddham and Hridikshita Guruvaram Sadas Barami. The Guru Supreme that my heart saw, heart seeing. Why not? All Indriyas do their functions, and more than the mind, I have always felt that it is the heart that has the capability of all the other Indriyas by such special circumstances. So, Hrid Ikshita Guruvaram Sada Smarami. Chirashruta Vainika Gayakam. The most well-known, most famous Chirashruta Vainika Gayakam. He was a Vainika, a Gayaka par excellence. Mantra Siddham. Suruchira Navamarga Vagyayakaram. What I mean by this is, in full tradition he was, still a slight deviation. It is not a deviation, it is an addition to the tradition, I would say, by his unique composing style. Navamarga Vagyayakaram. Swarakshara Anuloma Viloma Grahaspara Saundarya Prakasham Guruvarupam Muthuswaminam Sadasparami. Every composition is replete with Swaraksharas. In Dikshitar's composition, you will find if it is a Sa, there is a Sahityakshara Sa for the Sa. If it is a Ri, you will find Ri as a Sahityakshara also. Like this. Swarakshara Anuloma Viloma Grahaspara Saundarya Prakasham. There are concepts in our Chitteswara composing. Normally, what Chitteswaras we all use are the Anuloma Chitteswaras. That is, the Chitteswara moves in one direction and ends in a particular way. Dikshitar has composed a Chitteswara which can be read from Z to A. If you can imagine that. It is a very, very difficult task. Dikshitar has composed Anuloma Viloma Swara, like that. His composition in Kalyani among the Navavarna Kritis, Kamalambam Bhadare, carries a Chitteswara which is an Anuloma Viloma Swara. And there's another composition in Raga Regupti, Sada Vinata Sadare. And that carries a Chitteswara which is an Anuloma Viloma Swara. These swaras also are Grahaswaras. What is a Grahaswara then? A Grahaswara is a swara in which the Chitteswara runs in a particular raga, shift the tonic. By the modal shift of tonic, the Chitteswara can sound as a different Chitteswara of a different raga altogether. This is not an easy task. Please mind it. This is not at all an easy task. This Grahaswara, this is also a credit of only and only Muthuswami Dikshitar. Grahaswara Saundarya Prakasham Guruguharu Vagyayakara Shardulam. Shardula is a mythical animal we all know. We have been mentioned. The Shardula. A Shardula is very much more powerful than the lion. It's a combination of a lion and an elephant. The magnitude of the elephant and the power of the lion combined is a Shardula, they say. And Dikshitar is a Vagyayakara Shardula, like that. Bhava, Raga, Tala, Prasa, Rasa, Pravaha. His compositions are a Pravaha of Bhava, Raga, Tala, Prasa, the Rasa of all this. Bhava, Raga, Tala, Rasa, Pravaham. Viraginam. We all know that the Sangeeta devotees were all Viragis. Tyagaraja was a Tyaga Raja. He was the king of Tyagis. That is why the name of Shiva as Tyagaraja was named to Tyaga Brahma. Dikshitar was no less of a Viragi. I will not go into, I am greatly tempted to go into the detail, but I will restrain myself. Satchidananda Brahmasmi Nijasukha Bhoginam. We have seen any number of bhogis in life, but this is a very, very rare kind of a bhogi. What is the bhogavastu of Dikshitar? He was a bhogi of Nijasukha. What is this Nijasukha? Nijasukha is mukti, moksha. Dikshitar was a scholar, a bhakta combined, who felt so intimate with his deities that there was a total oneness with him and Rajarajeshwari. And so Dikshitar said in this Soham feeling of the Advaita, the Soham feeling that Bhagavat Shankaracharya gave us, this Soham, Dikshitar lived all his life as an Advaitin, a Veenotsavam. And he has said, Satchidananda Paripurna Brahmasmi. It is not easy for anybody to say this except one really experiences that. It is not easy to experience a feeling Satchidananda Paripurna Brahmasmi. If one esteems himself too much, he can say Chidananda Brahma, Chit Brahma, Chit Brahmasmi. If one says, I always live in bliss, I am Ananda Brahmasmi. Sat, Chit, Ananda, all the three, to say that I am the Brahman who is the embodiment of Sat, Chit and Ananda. I am the same as that Brahman. This is the very limit of the feeling and experiencing Advaitatva. It is Muthuswami Dikshitar that had the courage to say that, because he lived a total Advaitin, experienced the Brahman as himself. This is a very rare expression. Any composer has used, and this has been used by Dikshitar. And I have said, Veenotsavam Pungavam. The material I just said stands for this expression, Veenotsavam Pungavam. Tyagaraja Visweswara Kamalamba Nijaradhakam. He, as it were, belonged to the Tyagaraja Swami and Kamalamba as their family. That is why I have said, Tyagaraja Visweswara Kamalamba Nijaradhakam, their Swantam. And who can be other than Dikshitar, who can stand out of our words, who is not reachable by our words like the Brahman. Eto vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha, Upanishad said for Brahman, for Ananda, which is Anando Brahmayeti Vyajanat. For that, Dikshitar is the one who is not, whom we are not able to describe by words. Bhagatita Maharubhavam. Sakala Shastra Sudhakaram Gurva Rupam Muthuswami Dikshitar.